TGIF, everybody. I'm Tony George from DocSports.com. Going to talk about a football game tonight. A couple of ex-ACC foes going at it tonight. Maryland's in a different conference. How many great basketball games in the ACC over the years did you see between Maryland and Virginia? You know, I hate these conference realignments. I'm old school. I'm in my 50s. You know, I like things the way they are. You know, Nebraska, my beloved alma mater, being in the Big 12. Hate the Big 10 for my Huskers. You know, just I like things the way they used to be. You know what I'm saying? Pac-12 is no more. They got 8 teams in the top 25, and they're no longer a conference at the end of the football season. What? With 6 or 7 of the best quarterbacks in the country in it. Unbelievable what's transpired recently. You know, all in the name of a cash grab. Pisses me off, but that's all right. That's a whole nother show. Nonetheless, we're going to talk about this game and what we got going on over at the website. We'll talk a little bit about the NFL game, too, at the end of this video that transpired. I had no action out last night at all, so I'm just going to make a couple comments on that. You might want to stay tuned for that. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up. Get notified when myself or anybody has picks out here. And my show with Griffin Murphy, the Gridiron Six-Pack, it's up. Go tune in. 6 free plays last week, 4-2 ATS. 6 more free plays this week. Pays to tune in. We're giving it to you for free, like the free $60 in the link in the description below. Upper left-hand corner tab of the website says free 60. Click on. You're going to want it tonight for a 7-unit pitcher prop. Now, you like money? Yeah. It's prop cards are $25. You can't go to Arby's drive-thru for $25, especially with gas $5 a gallon in Vegas right now. What's all that about? Nonetheless, you got $5 just wrapped up in gas, going there and getting back home. Hello. And speaking of old school, Arby's. What's the deal with no potato cakes? Curly fries or crinkle fries? What happened to the potato cakes? Bring them back. Dip those in a little side of cheddar. Oh, it's like caviar. Come on. What are you doing? I hate it. Again, I'm old school. I like things the way they used to be. This game here, this isn't a basketball game. It's not a tight number and tight basketball game like they played back when they were ACC foes here. Maryland's laying 14.5. And I'll tell you something right now. I don't like laying big numbers on Thursday and Friday games. I'd like to have been in Memphis last night. I was at a sports bar with a buddy watching both these games, the Memphis and Navy game and then the NFL game, and full of sports bettors. There wasn't a single person cheering for Navy in the entire bar. There wasn't a single person cheering for Philly either, or for Minnesota. But I'm not interested in laying 14.5 in this game. Now, the early game between San Antonio and Army, that number's right, you know. That number's tight. But the total in this game is not tight. Over 47.5. Big time. Yeah, it's solid free play for you. Last week, Virginia played James Madison, and in a home game where they honored their fallen teammates from the shooting last year. In the middle, and after all that emotion, then there was this huge weather delay. Weather delayed a bunch of games last week. Virginia Tech, Purdue, this up in the New England area. Nonetheless, they end up losing 35-36 against James Madison. And by the way, James Madison is a good football team. You know, one of the silver linings coming out of that game was their quarterback, Collindre. He threw for 377 and 2 touchdowns. And bear in mind, in week 1, Virginia gave up 49 to Tennessee. And Tennessee in that game, I watched some of that game, they weren't clicking on all cylinders the entire game. Maryland, on the other hand, has scored 38 points in each of their first 2 games, albeit against weak sisters. I would consider Virginia a little bit of a weak sister. As a matter of fact, I watched that game last week. I wanted to see what Maryland had. with the eye test. I also wanted to see what Charlotte had. And Charlotte had them down 14-0 at one point in the first half before they turned it on and came in and blew them out. But nonetheless here, I can clearly see, Maryland getting to their average here, which is 38. Clearly. And the way that Virginia was throwing the ball around last week, Maryland was a little suspect against a lesser opponent to give up points and big chunks of yards last week against Charlotte. I'd say you might be able to see 14 to 20 some out of Virginia here. Yeah. Over 47.5, your free pick. Over at the website, as we mentioned, we've got some picks for you. Just a quick note last night on the NFL game, then we'll tell you what's going on. I know a lot of people might have played Philly in a survivor pool. You got lucky. It's an interesting conundrum between those two teams. You talk about Kirk Cousins in primetime and can't win. He threw for 364 and 4 touchdowns. And Jefferson, who I had as an anytime TD scorer, let go of the ball at the goal line. It goes over the pylon, and it's a touchback. He doesn't get the TD. That'd have been a Minnesota win, possibly. Minnesota continues to find ways to lose games. And Philadelphia has had 2 games. In each one of those games, the other team handed them the game. And Jalen Hurts hadn't looked all that good. Yeah, new offensive coordinator. There's some issues there. Swift looked good. Run the ball. Run the ball. And by the way, I'm telling you right now, if Hurts keeps running into linebackers and DBs head on, taking them on, he's not going to be healthy all the season. FYI, just use your running backs. But nonetheless, this interesting note, Minnesota is losing games and through their own circumstances, and Philadelphia's getting games handed to them. That's not going to happen all season. They've got a brutal schedule coming up, especially later in the season. Nonetheless, 7-unit Major League Baseball pitcher prop tonight. Go get it. Free $60, link in the description below. Go get it. Take the rest of it, use it towards the weekend package. 7-unit, first 7-unit play in college football this weekend. On a 4-pack on Saturday, we have a 6-unit top play on Sunday in the NFL on another 4-pack. Went 3-1 with that last week, plus $1,080 of good. And we have a 3-unit pick in the Browns and the Steelers game on Monday night. Doc Sports, place to be. And don't forget, WNBA playoffs are going on. We got a 4-unit best bet. My boy Tim Fine's dialed in. Let's get it done. Booyah.